Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Look, Robert is already smiling. Yes, you see all the green today, so you know what. I mean, like, we had to make it feel magically delicious today. Good morning, everybody. You've stepped into the hottest spot in town. This is Sunshine's Corner on this Monday, the 17th day of March. And you know what we're celebrating. That's not how I'm supposed to talk, right? It don't come.
Top of the morning to you.
Oh, top of the morning to you. But welcome into Sunshine's Corner. We've got Robert Bender, our Supervisor of Election. We're going to be talking about April 1st. That's right around the corner.
Yes.
Oh, my God. You know, we were here just last month and we still had time, but what, we got 2.5 weeks?
Early voting starts this Saturday.
Oh, my goodness.
And we already have 10,000 vote-by-mail ballots that have been returned.
Returned?
Returned.
Oh, wow. So they're on it.
They are on it. So.
I mean, good. Magically delicious.
It's a special day.
It's a special day. But look, Robert, I want to thank you for getting that. And you know, it was so cute that you suggested we do this today. I thought that's so cute. And everybody just love my hat.
Yeah.
Don't you like my hat? I mean, like, ooh. There it is.
These suspenders, I think, were made for a leprechaun, though. It's a little tight.
Wait a minute, what did you say? You thought they were going to pop up?
Oh, I was afraid they'd pop up and hit me in the face if I didn't get them attached right. So,
but look at Robert's hat. I mean, isn't that cute? Of course it is. So that's going to give you a joy and a way to start your day off, right? Even though we're going to be talking about some things that's utterly important. We're talking about the election and everything that you got to make sure that you have, because I don't know about anybody else, but I've been getting a lot of text messages on my phone as far as this election that's coming up on the 1st. But let's talk about everything that we got to have in order, Robert, so that everything will flow just like it's supposed to flow coming up.
Perfect. So we did have the registration deadline has already passed. So if you're not a registered voter, it is too late unless you're transferring from within the state, that we can transfer you up here. But if you're not registered yet, you can go ahead and register. You just won't be eligible for this election.
Right.
And so we have that. We have vote by mail ongoing. The deadline to request a vote by mail ballot is this Thursday, March 20th at 5 p.m. You can do that by going online at ScambiaVotes.gov. Or by calling our office, 850-595-3900. But you will need either your driver's license or the last 4 of your social. I'd say if you go online to make the request and your voter, you're not found, you're entering your last 4 of your social, try putting your driver's license in instead. That may be on your record. Your social may not be on there yet. You would just need to update your record. And
Robert,
so,
let me ask you something that came across you. Now, everybody that let's get an understanding, because I had a girlfriend ask me this past weekend about, you know how when you're automatically taken off, and let's touch that. Because there's some people reached out to me this past weekend about that.
Sure, and there's been a text message that's been going around letting people know. I think what they're trying to say is that you're no longer registered to vote by mail, but it says you're no longer registered. And so people are calling our offices, calling Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and asking about that. And so we have not removed anybody unless you gave it, you asked, or death certificate.
Right.
So those are the only ones we've removed since 90 days, but really even before August. Because you have to do it 90 days before an election. You can't do anything.
Right.
So we haven't been able to start our list maintenance for the year yet because we have the special election. So we have not removed anybody, but it was your request to receive a vote by mail ballot was wiped clean.
Okay.
So that's what they're saying. So we've had over 18,000 people since November 5th that have requested a vote by mail ballot for this election. 18,000. But we did 43,000 in November, so we know how many people want to do it. But we've had 18,000 already. I think we had 300 come in over the weekend, so we'll be getting those ballots out today for anyone who's gotten it. So our sample ballots hit the mail over the weekend.
I got mine.
I got mine on Saturday. Those all went out Thursday and Friday. So we want to give people about a week before early voting starts to review the ballot. Know where they can go vote. So one, it contains the sample ballot. So for us in Escambia County, we just have the Congressional District 1 race.
Right.
Santa Rosa is doing a primary for the House District 3 rep. So they have a primary going on. So they'll be having a couple different ballot styles. But we did a joint ad in the paper on Sunday. So if you're in Santa Rosa and you want to see what's going to be in your ballot, and Tappy and I have the same website, pretty much the same
but of course.
features. So you can always just go to their website, am I registered to vote, something like that. Look up your sample ballot, and if that's going to be on your ballot, it'll be on that website as well. So so we have that. Like I said, the deadline to request a vote by mail is Thursday.
Absolutely.
So the sample ballot had that. It had the locations and dates and times of our early vote, which is going to be this Saturday, March 22nd to March 29th. 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. We have 10 locations around the county, and with early voting, you can go to any one of the 10 locations. You don't have to go to a specific one or the one closest to your house. So we have 10 locations available. I do want to point out those that 9 of the 10 are ones that everyone's familiar with. The Asbury Place that we used on 9th Avenue wasn't available for this early vote.
Okay.
And so we've moved that location to Tryon Branch Library. So there will be a sign. If you go to Asbury Place, there'll be a sign telling you where to go. And then also for people that voted there in the August primary, we're going to send you a letter letting you know that it's going to be moved. And we did let people know when they voted there in January that we were going to be moving. So really trying to get the word out on that. But, you know, it's our normal ones: UWF, Brownsville, Downtown Main Library, Supervisor of Elections office, Southwest Library over in Perdido, the Bellevue Library, Extension, Molino, and Century.
You got places to go.
Those will all have early voting. Now, actually, we do have another election going on tomorrow for the town of Century. So we've thrown this into the mix. And so they do not have early voting for the town of Century. We're just going to go, we've gotten some vote by mail for them. But tomorrow, at the Billy G. Ward Courthouse, we'll be voting for Century for the town council.
Wow.
And we'll open vote by mail ballots for the congressional race in the morning, and then we'll all caravan up to Century, and we'll canvass the election there tomorrow night at 7. So,
I mean, do you dream about this? Yes.
Well, they say nightmares are dreams too, you know, but no, it's been great that we've had. This will be our 5th and 6th election that I've run as supervisor. It's always great to be able to do this, and you get to improve on it every time.
Most
continuous improvement is what we try to do when we do things, and so. But you know, in January, I don't know if I talked about this, but we had the results posted at 7 p.m. So we from that day,
really,
because you know I have 30 minutes to get the vote by mail results and the early vote results posted, and so we sort of kind of slow down and prepare for 7 o'clock. It's starting at about 6:30.
Good lordy.
And so we had it posted on our website at 7. You know, for the primary and the general election last year, I think it was about 7:03, 7:04.
Right.
You know, in November, that was 70% of the vote.
That's a lot.
Was posted and available to the public
about that time?
4 minutes after the polls closed. So it's great that we have this ability to let the voters know very quickly.
And that's what they want
results.
To know, because they're sitting on the edge anyway.
Correct.
Now, with this election that's coming up on April the 1st, there's so much about it in the streets. Oh, my God. Has it been a difference that you see with the participation of the people that's voting? Is it lower? Is it higher? Is it on a steady pace? Or how does it kind of look?
So one in January 28th, out of the 10 counties that had a special election on January 28th, Escambia County had the highest percent turnout of eligible voters. So I was happy for that. We were just shy of 20%, which is what we would typically expect for a special election.
Absolutely.
But again, it's who can motivate their base to get out and vote. And with so few people likely to vote, a small number could have a big impact.
I know. Okay, why do you think it's such a fewer than the bigger general election, although this may be like a general election, but why do you think that the participation is lower?
It's what engages people, what gets, you know, they more likely turn out for a presidential election.
Right, of course.
You know, you have your mid-70s for presidential.
Absolutely.
Historically, for gubernatorial, we're about 50%. And then in the primaries, we're in that, unfortunately, 25 to 30%. And so the sample ballots went to every registered voter who did not have a vote by mail request on file. So that was over 200,000 people that received notification that there's going to be an election April 1st and that there's early voting and you can request your vote by mail ballot and what's going to be on there. And so, but it is unfortunate that you don't have a higher turnout.
Exactly. And what I want to try to convey to our viewers is the fact that all of these elections are important because of the fact, now we know when we're doing that presidential election, everybody's really into that. But when you think about like this election right here, this going for Congress, right? This is just as important. And if you want to have a voice in making that decision, this is how you do it. You get out and vote.
It is, well, and I know that both sides are talking about the razor-thin margins between the parties in the House. And so this could this could have major implications on who gets this seat.
Absolutely.
So it is very important to get out and vote.
I guarantee you. If you've got questions, like Robert is always on it. And I mean, do you have that little pad with you today?
I do.
Okay, because he can tell us things with that pad, man. It's amazing. 850-432, I almost said 595. 432-7768. If you've got questions, you can talk to Robert right here today. Even though we're dressed in our green and we look so cute, well, he looks handsome, I look cute, but it's the fact that we are here to just share some laughter, that even with this election coming up and all the rhetoric that's going on in the streets, have fun with it. Enjoy with it. Come on, it's magically delicious. I just can't get that out of my head. I didn't have my Lucky Charms. But look, we were talking about something else that maybe this will make Robert. You see these great big donuts? I mean, these are from Parlor Donuts, right next door at 120 Palafox Place. This coffee right here, they've got a donut over there, Robert, that has bacon on it. That's the full meal. Or you need some eggs. I wonder if there's eggs on it.
Well, there's eggs in the yeast, probably.
Probably so. So you got your full breakfast?
Yes.
But look, Parlor Donuts make this happen for us every Monday. And Robert going to have him one and get him some water. He's going to need it because that's a whole breakfast right there. So you got to check it out. But Robert, even when we talk about this with this special election that's coming on, people who are doing things, I had to get my hat straight, kind of moved. Other things that they should be aware of when they're voting. In every election, you got to have all your credentials in order.
Correct. So one, you have to be a registered voter. This being a general election, it doesn't matter what party you are, everybody will get the same ballot. But you do need to have your photo and signature identification with you when you come to the polls, whether it be early vote or your precinct on election day. They need to be valid. They need to be the state of Florida. So again, not a North Carolina driver's license.
That's right.
But again, it doesn't mean you can't be registered. It just means that you need another form of ID. Military ID, it doesn't have a signature with it, so you would need to present some other form of signature. It could be something like a credit card that you've signed or something like that. Driver's license is the easiest, so that's sometimes what they ask for, but it does not have to be a driver's license. A passport.
Right.
Something that came up in January was the passport card. The passport card would be good, but if you have one of the global entries, that is not an authorized.
Oh, really?
Right. So global entry lets you get into customs a little bit quicker or something like that. It is not a passport card. It is not a passport. It is I'd say third party or something like that. So although there's a photo in there and you do have to do a lot of steps to get that. It is not one of the approved things by the Florida legislature.
Absolutely. So. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue to talk about this more. If you've got questions, want to be a part of this conversation, 850-432-7768. We're going to come back with more right here at Sunshine's Corner. Why? Because it's magically delicious.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
Do you have a house that you want to turn into cash? I'm Mike with Mullet Man Buys Houses from Pensacola, Florida. Maybe you inherited a house, are facing foreclosure, have tenant issues, or the house is in general disrepair. I buy houses cash, in as-is condition, and close in as little as 3 weeks. I can provide you a competitive offer the same day I walk through your house. With Mullet Man Buys Houses, you can find the easy solution to put cash in your hand as quickly as possible.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
At Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, we believe every child should have a safe place to grow. That's why we work with you and the community to build not just a house, but a home.
She worked very hard to get this house. I really appreciate that because, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here right now.
When you help build a home, you build a future. Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
Spot in town. This is Sunshine's Corner. On this Monday, I tell you, we've got our Supervisor of Election with us. I wish I could think of that man name. What's it? The leprechaun? Robert Bender. Oh, wow. We've got a phone call coming in. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Sunshine. Good morning, Mr. Bender. How are you all this morning?
I'm doing
wonderful.
Good. Listen, I've been hearing, and I'm hoping, Robert, you can shed some light. I've been hearing that individuals who have recently been affected by having a new driver's license number with the result, with the new law that changed, the driver's license number is no longer the same for people having difficulty getting their vote by mail ballots. Can you share a little bit about why that is and what they can do and how your office is working to mitigate that issue?
Sure. Thank you for that. So yes, last year there was an algorithm that was used for driver's licenses, and so they changed it. It was people were able to, if I had enough information on you, then I could calculate your driver's license number. So we're getting those from the DMV just as we would registration. So if people update their registration when they get their driver's license, that information comes to us. If you've recently gotten a new driver's license and you want to double check, you can call our office and check. And so that's why I said if you go online to request a vote by mail ballot and you can't be found, it may be because one of those identifiers is not on your account yet. So I had one last week where he was putting in his last four of his social, but the last four of his social weren't on his account. And so I said, hey, if you send another application in, then we can validate that information. We can add it to your account, and then you would be found. So does that answer the question? Is that when we are working through? I mean, it's
I guess so. So does that mean that is the guidance now for people who have to have a driver's license renewed, that they indeed should, at the time of renewal, go ahead and say yes to the clerks when they ask to update their voter registration information?
I would always say yes. It's a fairly easy process. The other thing it allows you to do is go ahead and update your signature. So we had a little extra real estate on our sample ballot this time, and so we put something about updating signatures because if you do vote by mail, or when you go vote in person, you're supposed to match that signature the best you can, and on your driver's license, it may be from 10 or 12 years ago. And you may not,
signature?
Your signature. So if you want to update your signature either on your driver's license to how you're signing it now, that would transfer over to the Supervisors of Elections office, and that's what we use. We also retain the one that you had before, so we can see, especially as people age. So one of the things that we have to do is take a course on signature verification, and so we actually had this the other day where our employee who reviews the signatures on the vote by mail ballots had pulled some that did not match identically to what was on the file. But we were able to go through the voter's record and look at the signatures that they made when they had gone to vote early or on election day, and we were able to see
compare and see that it was a person.
Some of these were 90 years old, and so we know certain things that happen as a person ages, but characteristics still remain the same.
Wow.
And so, 5 out of about the 30 that we reviewed, we went ahead and accepted based on being able to match parts of those signatures.
You said 5 out of the 30?
Yes.
So what happened?
So the other 25, our office has contacted them and let them know that they can sign a cure affidavit. So it lets them know that their signature hasn't matched, but they can send us a copy of their driver's license and a form saying that yes, it was that they were the ones that sent in the ballot, and then we would process it even though the signature doesn't
Would that
match.
affect something like that? Let's say with this election coming up, I hope I'm going on the same line that you are, Derek. Would that affect like that 30, that 25 that did not match? Would that affect them in the voting that's coming up?
Well, we haven't opened the ballot. We haven't opened their envelope with the ballot, and so they actually have until Thursday at 5 p.m. after Election Day to get us that information. And so same thing with provisional ballots, is that if you go to early vote or on Election Day and there's an issue that you can't be found for whatever reason, or we actually had a couple of these during the general election where someone did register to vote at DMV, but it was never sent to us. And so we were able to confirm that they had attempted to register. And so I think there was 3 of those that we ended up accepting, but we had those almost 48 hours after the election to gather the information and make a decision. So, but no, I thought that was Derek.
That is Derek.
It is.
But yeah. So I mean, one, the driver's license changing numbers is making it more secure, and we are getting updates from the DMV with that, and so. But again, I would say it's always great to just update your information when you get a new driver's license again, because we'll be able to pull over that signature and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. My last question is, I tuned in about 5 minutes late, and I think you were in the middle of saying, I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. Did you say that for the special election, there's no early voting in Century? Or no? Did I hear that?
No. So Century is having an election tomorrow for town council. There's no early voting with that. All 10 locations are open for early voting next week, starting on Saturday for the congressional district race. So there is early voting taking place in Century, but it's only for congressional district 1 race, not for the town of Century race.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much.
Great,
you guys
yes.
have a great rest of your day.
Great. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate all you do.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'll tell you, he's on it. He's always working hard, you know.
Yes.
But you know, when you were saying something that made me understand, did you say that the driver's license number changes?
So historically, it hasn't, right? So if you talk to law enforcement officers, if they would ask you, someone would be like, "Oh, I don't have my driver's license with me, but I know the number," and then they would read them the number. It had the year of your birth in there. I don't know if you knew that, but
yeah, I did.
Okay, and so they could quickly determine if somebody maybe wasn't being truthful with them or something like that. But again, it had something to do with. So, for instance, when I went off to get my MBA, I got a driver's license in Georgia, and I came back and it was the exact same number that I had when I had turned 16. And so I don't know all the algorithm, but it has something to do with your name and letters and
yes, a letter and about your name too.
Right. And so that algorithm was known, and so people could essentially guess your driver's license. So now there's some randomization to that, so that it's not as easy to guess your driver's license.
Unbelievable. Wow.
So as you go and renew your driver's license, Scott Lunsford does a great job here as our tax collector and doing those services for DMV. When you get your new driver's license, it's probably it will update your driver's license number. So you'll have to memorize something else.
You got that right. I said, wow, when you was taught to do it, wow, is it going to change? I mean, because I just about know it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But most people do. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got questions, you please be a part of this conversation at 850-432-7768. Robert Bender, our Supervisor of Election, he's here today and answering all the questions that put your mind at ease for this election that's coming up in really 2 weeks. Because this weekend, the early voting, this month is gone.
It is. And you mentioned something earlier, is that, am I worried about it? Am I ready? Mm-hmm. Is that we enjoy doing elections, right? It's what we do. And so my job is to make it a smooth experience for the voter, and to get the results out and to run a good election.
Right.
So we've been very fortunate that's how it's been over the last year with all the elections that we've run. But this is what we do.
Exactly.
And so
you see the smile on his face when he talks about it.
and it is fun. So for me, it's a little bit like as I said, my first career, I was a golf rules official, and it's a little bit like that. You get to do some operations. You know the Florida statutes and you follow those. But I treat all candidates the same.
Exactly. That's right.
And I'm glad to represent the people of Escambia County and making sure that we have safe, fair, and accurate elections.
And you see, when I see the joy on your face when you talk about the accountability, the smoothness, should I say, of how the election's been running, there has not been a whole lot of ruckus going on. That should really make you smile. So I believe that trickles down because of the leadership. Then it trickles down to the ones that are working with you. And look at the smile on your face.
No, it's interesting to me on what we do and how we do it, but also the confidence in how we do it.
Exactly.
So in January, last year, we switched to an automated audit, which is something where every ballot that gets voted goes through a scanner into an independent audit system.
Right.
And then we compare the two.
Right.
In January, it was 100% match. And we don't just compare how many votes did Sonshine get, how many votes did Rob. We look at each vote by precinct. And so, because again, one precinct could be up, one could be down. And if that's the case, we want to know why.
Exactly.
So in January, we had a 100% match. If I talk a little bit about November, think about it. We had 164,000 ballots cast. You have 17 on average contests on each ballot. We had a 33 vote difference out of all the, multiply the 17 times
I got
the
you.
ones. And 33 of the 35, so I don't know if I said that, we had 35 difference. 33 of the 35 were from ballots that we were aware of. One of them was a ballot that had been scanned in twice at a precinct, so it jammed in the machine. They didn't see that it had been scanned already, so they scanned it again. The other 17 of the 33 were one where someone scanned it, it got jammed, it didn't read, and when they went to get it, it fell in, so they couldn't grab it to
What do you
scan
mean, it fell in the hole?
It fell in the bucket with all the other ballots. So you don't just go in and grab one and try it again. But again, those were just those two ballots out of the 164,000 that were like that. The other two were ones that people had probably used pencil on. That our tabulators couldn't see the results, but when we ran it through the audit machine, they were dark enough to see it. So it took it from an undervote to a yes or a no vote. So really only two votes. So everything else matched up. So when you look at that, out of all the ballots, and not just a select few, not just one race from a few precincts that we used to do, 100% of the ballots, 100% of the races audited by precinct, by race. Make sure that those numbers match.
That's pretty good, Robert.
Yeah.
That's pretty daggone good there. That's a lot of numbers to deal with.
It's a lot of numbers, but when they match, that's what you want.
But that's what it is.
Yes.
Everybody, we're talking with the Supervisor of Election today, Mr. Robert Bender. We encourage you to be a part of this green conversation. 850-432-7768. That's the number you can call or text right here at Sunshine's Corner.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Keep going, more. No, stop!
There are many reasons someone may need in-home care, whether it may be respite care, them recovering from surgery, or having a chronic condition. Having someone dedicated and reliable is imperative. Supplemental Support Care Services was created to provide to those who are in need with quality care that they deserve in the home. Taking it a step further, our main goal is to ensure that Supplemental Support Care Services is where the love and care is top priority.
I'm Gay Valamont, and I approve this message.
Jimmy Petronas is lying about Gay Valamont. Why? To hide the fact that he took millions in campaign cash from insurance companies, then looked the other way when they charged us the highest rates in the nation. Worse, Petronas helped pass a law that made it harder for taxpayers to force insurance companies to pay up on claims. Petronas gets millions. Big insurance makes a killing. You pay the bill. That stinks. Jimmy Petronas, he's part of the swamp. All wrong for Congress.
Early in life, Tony found a love for craftsmanship through building furniture. Growing up in cabinet shops, he was drawn towards custom cabinetry, designing, and creating new and functional spaces. And to be able to share that passion with his clients, helping them turn their ideas into something special, making sure you get more for your investment.
Every kitchen and bath starts with your unique vision. I just bring it to life.
Master-built cabinets, beautifully handcrafted and customer designed.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner on this Monday edition. And of course, my girl, Gabrielle, who sponsors this hour. Thank you so very much. That's with Supplemental Health Care. And I want to tell you something she's doing, which is I just applaud her. She's done such a great job. She's going to be celebrating their 4th year opening anniversary. She has evolved into something even bigger. Congratulations to you. It's going to be taking place on April the 1st. And listen to this, she's having it there at Bonefish Grill, man, and it's free. Everybody's gonna tear that place down. Yep. Look, congratulations to you, Gabrielle, for all that you do and that you continue to do, and thank you for being a part of Sunshine's Corner. We were talking about even with the counts, how you keep up with everything that's going on with all the, oh God, that's gotta be something. I would probably be chased in my sleep if I had to do all that. You know, when you think about, and then how everything is so accurate. I would say that's very good when you're saying 2-3 people out of 100 and so many thousands that got it right. That says something about you. But with the things that are coming up now, Robert, like I get a text every day. Right. There are so many other text messages going on. Let's talk about that because there's another text message I think is confusing people. Yeah,
we talked about a little bit earlier about the vote by mail and saying you're no longer registered.
Because I just got another text.
You just got another. So again, this is it is confusing. We've had lots of calls. Usually, I guess right after the texts go out, our office starts getting bombarded with calls. And again, to say that we have not removed anybody from the voter rolls is that your request to receive a vote by mail ballot has been wiped clean. It has reset after every general election. And so if you want to vote by mail, you can go ahead and call now and sign up now for all the elections through next November. We have August 18th, 2026 primary. I don't have the general election date down yet. Go. Early November, that first Tuesday after the first Monday in November 26th. But you can go ahead and make that request now. So again, if you were in Century and you had called and said, hey, I want all elections until general election of next year, you would have gotten it for the special Century election. You would have gotten it for the general election April 1st, and you'll get it for the primary and general election next year. So once that's on there. Now I will say, as an organization, the Florida Supervisors of Elections are working with the legislator to try to make that an easier process. We saw the troubles that it's had. I would say across the board, we all think that it's a great thing that you have to renew that request, right? That way, when we send a ballot, it's not to someone who maybe moved 2 or 3 years ago. Right. So it is a better system. We're validating it on the front end, and then we're also validating it on the back end with the signature. Front end, we're asking for the driver's license and the social security number. We're making you do it more often. On the back end, we're validating that signature against what's on file, or again, we capture your signature when you've gone and voted. So that's how we're making vote by mail more secure.
Well, it's making people feel even more secure.
Correct.
Even that means that they're taking the time so that you won't have to worry about anything going out of the way it should be.
Right.
We got another call.
Okay, great.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How about you?
Great. Happy St. Patrick's Day. A question for Mr. Bender is this about the process. When the winner is declared on April the 1st. How does that process work to notify the U.S. House of Representatives as the winner? Does he make the report? Does he certify the election to the governor, and the governor tells the U.S. House of Representatives who won, or how does that process work?
Sure, great question. Of course, we're one of 4 counties that will be taking part in this, and so we'll certify our results to the state. The state will compile the results from all 4 counties and determine the winner. So, when we get our results out, hopefully right after 7 o'clock on April 1st, that will only be a portion of the results of the district. And so the state website will be up, or you can go to each individual county's website to see the results of those. But they will have a consolidated tabulation on their website. And so we will certify it 10 days after the election. So we have, because this is a federal election, those military and overseas voters will have to have their vote by mail postmarked by election day, and we'll have 10 days to receive it. Everyone else, will have to have their ballot to us by 7 p.m. on election night for it to be counted. But we'll certify the election 10 days, and then a few days after that, they'll certify our results as well. So the state will notify them.
So in other words, you'll have a winner probably the evening of April the 1st, and then you send your certified unofficial results to the state immediately that day or the next day, or do you wait until the absentee and military people come in to certify?
So our first set of unofficial results we'll do Thursday evening, so that Thursday at 5 p.m. is the deadline for those cure ballots, so where the signatures didn't match, or actually you'd be surprised how many people send us a vote by mail ballot with no signature. They think they've done it, they wrote their name at the top, and they don't sign it. So they have until Thursday at 5 p.m. to cure that. Also, those provisional ballots, we can't make a determination. We can't reject a provisional ballot until after 5 p.m. on Thursday. So we'll do the first unofficials and send those to the state. But again, we have that 10-day, because it's a federal election, 10-day for the Uwakava voters to get those. Now, again, we don't get a lot of those ballots in those 10 days. I think in November we maybe got 50. And so it's not trays and trays of ballots, so it shouldn't change much. But then we'll do the official certification on that Friday, 10 days after the election, and then we'll also and then we won't audit. I think we'll come back in that afternoon and do the audit, and so it'll be 10 days after the election for the official certification, and then it'll still go to the state for their certification a few days later, and then I think that's when that person would actually get to be able to take office.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay, great question. That's part of the process that isn't. And actually, we were talking about all these numbers that we do. Numbers that are just as equally important to our office are the list of voters who voted, and making sure that we're sending. We have a few weeks after the election to get that to the state.
Right.
So we want to make sure that that's an accurate list. So again, the number of voters, all that stuff is just as accurate to us as the actual results, because that's how we validate and ensure that those are accurate.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, caller.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. And everybody, please, if you have questions, think that you would like to get answered today will be today, 850-432-7768. That's the number you can call or text and talk with Mr. Robert Bender, the Supervisor of Elections, right here with you on this St. Patrick's Day. We're all dressed in green. Having a great day with it.
It is. Also, one of these things I say, all of what we do is a public meeting.
Right.
So we've published our schedule on when our canvassing board is going to meet. That's the 3-member panel that oversees the election and makes determinations on, if there's a vote that we can't quite tell, does it get counted, does it get not? Again, those signatures, we've all taken that signature class. And so as a group of 3, we reviewed each one of those envelopes to see if the signature matched and made a determination if we agree with it or if they needed the cure.
I got you.
But we are having
when you say a cure.
Yes.
I mean, a cure, you mean that you got to make sure that.
Well, it gives the voter, and this has not always been the case, so it's great that we've implemented this, because before, if the signature didn't match, it just got set off to the side. Now it gets set off to the side, but we send you a letter, we call you and say, we need a little bit more information from you in order to have your vote count. I would say that is why we ask for your phone number and your email address on the envelope.
I got you.
We don't copy that information. We don't do it, but it gives us the ability to quickly reach out to you if there is an issue with the ballot. And I say with the ballot, it's more with the envelope. We've gotten some envelopes that come back that have tape over them where they've been ripped or something like that. We want to talk to the voter to see if they're aware of it, if they want to go ahead and have us accept that ballot, or if they want to give a new one, just to make sure that, because once we say we're going to open it and accept it, there's no going back.
No, can't go back and say, no, I didn't do this or that.
There's no way to say, oh, this ballot went with this envelope.
Right.
And so, once the ballot comes out of the envelope, I have no way to know whose it is.
Absolutely. We got another caller, Robert.
Okay, great.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonshine. Good morning, Robert. How y'all doing today?
Doing
Wonderful.
Great. Yourself?
I just want to call y'all look very festive today. Y'all green. I love your hat, Sonshine.
Hey. Look, thanks to our supervisor of election for his great ideas.
Hey, when we pick this date, Sunshine, we've got to wear green.
We got to wear green.
Yes, I got on my green hat. I have on my green
So we got the festivities going, right? Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I did want to call in and let your callers know if they do want to receive a mail-in ballot. It's easy. I called this morning right before the show. 850-595-3900. It was very simple, and I have a mail-in ballot coming to my home very soon.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the simplicity you were talking about a moment ago.
It is very simple. So one, I can't speak of my staff, higher than what I can, but they're great. So when we call, there might be a 1 or 2 second pause, but a live person's going to answer it.
Right.
Unless they're all on the phone. But again, usually a live person will answer it, and they can help you. And I'm glad you had a great experience. I do hear that from a number of people about how great the staff is and how easy it is. And they'll take your information down. They will have you validate who you are with that last 4 of your social or your driver's license number. And again, it depends on what's on the account.
You got that right.
So, and then they'll put it in. Now I only have 48 hours to get him a ballot in the mail.
So you should have your ballot in a couple of days, Eric.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh,
so we will most likely it'll go out today. We'll do a batch today. As I said, we have now over 300 that we've received, and it's been great. I mean, I got a lot of emails over the weekend of people requesting that vote by mail ballot. Hopefully they saw the sample ballot and realized that they needed to do it. And I will say it is confusing because, like I said, we had 43,000 ballots that went out in November. So people received a vote by mail ballot not even 4 months ago.
That's right.
But now they do have to take this extra step to get a ballot for this election.
Most certainly.
And so, but no, it's a great. So yes, you should hopefully have it midweek. Get it back to us, and then you can also track your ballot online. So if he goes
listening to this, take it out. You can track it.
It'll show when it was sent, so you can validate and let it know that it's been sent. When you return it to us, and then we'll update it once it's received and processed, and we'll let you. It'll even say if there's an issue or if it's been accepted. Actually, I saw one over the weekend where someone posted the text message that they received that from us saying that your ballot had been received and accepted, that it would be tabulated by the close of the election, and that it wouldn't be you'd receive no further updates. And so that's
they're on it.
I've tried to update some of that language that we have. So
it's important that you
other
do
than
that.
just saying that we've received it, when we say that we've received it, we've already made a determination if it's being accepted or not. That means that we've accepted the signature. And so I try to give a little bit more information to let you know it's been received and accepted.
Exactly.
And so then actually we were able to find something in the program will actually show when it's been counted.
Absolutely.
But
hold up right there, Robert.
We'll
what we're going to do, we're going to finish this up when we come back out of break, because he keeps saying, go to break, Sunshine, go to break. And thank you so much, caller, for your call. Glad that we got the answer for you. Listen up this.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Everybody, make sure if you've got questions for our Supervisor of Elections, 850-432-7768 right here, Sunshine's Corner.
Welcome to Little John's Big and Tall, where tall men and big men go for style, fit, and comfort.
We offer a wide variety of styles and unique brands that service all sizes from large to 14X, as well as tall sizes from large tall to 6X tall. Our knowledgeable staff are here to make sure you have a stress-free experience and answer any of your questions. Little John's has been named Best of Pensacola and Best of the Bay for 4 years in a row. Visit Little John's at 5700 North Davis or visit us online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com.
It's time to find a health plan that can keep up with your life. A plan that makes getting care convenient, with doctors around the corner.
I can get used to that.
Plus, 24/7 access to care. Plans that keep more money in your pocket, with plan payments as low as $0.
$0. Looks good to me.
Let's find your health solution. Speak to a dedicated Florida Blue agent today. Call 1-850-393-7036 to learn more.
Empire Truck Sales, located at 2255 West Detroit Boulevard in Pensacola, is your Freightliner, Western Star, Detroit Diesel, and Cummins dealer for Northwest Florida. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., providing sales, service, and parts. Empire Truck Sales is also your Oasis dealer for Freightliner custom chassis RV and motorhome repairs. Running I-10 will get you in.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner on this Monday. I tell you, Robert, each time you come, we have so many questions for you. We got another caller.
Okay,
but that's a good thing. This is where you get your answers. This is your information network. Good morning.
Good morning again. I have a political question for Mr. Bender.
Yes.
Mr. Bender, are you in touch with your predecessor, Mr. Stafford?
I am. Yes, sir.
Well, I'm a Democrat, and I know I live in a ruby red district, as you well aware. But Mr. Stafford impressed me so much that I would vote for him. As a Democrat, I would vote for him to be our congressman, because he impressed me so much with the job he did and how he cared about the voters. So if you pass that along to him, I wish he would consider running for congressman from this district. And that's all I want to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I will pass that on. I would say David did a wonderful job, 19 years in the Supervisor of Elections office. He was the chief of staff for Scarborough. So he's been up there before. And I want to say chief of staff. I'm pretty sure I've got that right. But I know he was up there for a while in D.C. And I think, yes, I would hopefully at some point I can earn the gentleman's.
Well, I think that's what he's saying also, yes, that you're doing, with what you're doing now, that speaks, because he said if you would run for bigger. Correct. So that says something about what you're doing as well, Robert, is what I hear what the caller was saying.
But no, David Stafford did a wonderful job, and again, a great person to follow in his footsteps. So I appreciate all that and his support. We do talk often.
Right. You're not going to believe this, and this is really amazing. When I was talking to, and a lot of people say, "Oh, she just..." No, this actually, the conversation that I had was Saturday. David Stafford's name came up, and I said, "No." When we were talking about, I think that was Saturday. You and I were texting.
Yeah. Yep.
And but what I'm saying, his name came up, and I said, "But no." I said something to the effect of what he said. I said, "Now David and I had a great relationship." I said, "But Robert and I, we got it too." I mean, no, because what I like about with you, Robert, I said when I first reached out to you, the way you open up, so come on, let's talk about this. Sure, I'd love to be a part of the show so we can make sure we get the information out. That says something to me. You're not that person that I can't ask that question. When I even I'll be honest, I'm going to be transparent, how I feel close to him, just like I did with David. Because David and I think we'd always crack it up by pizza. But now we're talking about hats. And I said, but do you understand what I'm trying to say? The fact that, and what you're doing, it speaks volumes because of the fact that you don't hear that in the street. And I'm in the street where I would hear it.
Right.
And I don't have nothing but
Well,
great
I think
things.
because we're both here to serve, you and I are both here to serve the community.
Exactly.
We were just talking about this in the
We
break.
sure did.
Is that this show gives us the opportunity to sit down for an hour and discuss everything. I mean, we can go in depth into what any of the callers want to know.
Yes.
We don't just have to a few talking points about early voting or something. We can dig into the numbers. We can, say it a few
Answer their
times, reminding those
questions.
people, which one of the things I wanted to remind everybody, the vote by mail, the deadline to request vote by mail for the April 1st election is Thursday, March 20th. So, we've had it mentioned a few times. It's in the sample. There it is. So I want to make sure that you realize that the deadline to request your vote by mail ballot, again, after that deadline, you could request it for next year. It just wouldn't be for this election. You do still have the opportunity to come by the office and an emergency affidavit or something like that to pick up a ballot.
Right.
It's just the deadline for us to mail them out
Is.
to make sure. And you have to think about this. Sometimes I love the USPS. They did a great job of making sure we tried to get every ballot. Sometimes things happen, and so we want to make sure you have the opportunity to vote and your voice is heard.
Most certainly.
But again, going back to David and us,
Yes.
is that we're here to serve the community.
That's what we do.
My job is to count your vote and to make sure you have the opportunity
That's
to
right.
vote and encourage you to vote.
Exactly.
And so that is that's my job.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter who you are, what
That's
you are, what
right.
you is that I want you to come vote. I want again the fact that Escambia County led in voter turnout
That's what I'm
on
talking
January
about.
28th. It excites me, even though it still wasn't that many. 20.
That's right. But it's
just shy
an
of
increase. It's
20%.
on the uproar.
Right, just shy of 20%. But I'm glad that hopefully that means either that we have more engaged voters, or honestly, I think the snowstorm may have helped us a little bit. Because we were on so many places saying about when we were open, when we were closed, that maybe it did remind people that they needed to get out.
No
and vote.
doubt.
And so that's the case. The other thing I wanted to mention is that this is a public process.
Yes, it is.
So tomorrow morning, 9:15, we are going to start opening more vote by mail ballots. We opened I think 6,425 2 weeks ago. And so we have close to 4,000 that will probably start to open tomorrow. We may not get through all of it because we have to get up to Century for that special
Absolutely.
election. But I welcome anyone to come by our warehouse, 3201 West Navy Boulevard. There is a viewing room that you can sit and watch the process. We don't honestly we don't get a lot of people come by, but usually when they do, we'll come out and walk you through the process, and you can see how we process a vote by mail ballot. We have some election workers that are there that are unfolding the ballots. But again, the steps that we do just in that room to make sure that the number of envelopes came in is the number that we were expecting, and the number of ballots that we have is what we expect, and then those go and get tabulated.
So that's a good thing. So if people want to come out and see this, so they can see the process, and I think that would also plant more of a positive thing in them to let them see.
Yes.
And here it is a visual that you allowing them to be a part of it. And if you want to know more, this is how you do it, and the doors are open for you. All I can say is this: I appreciate the fact that we get the message out to you. Robert gets those dates out to you, the importance of what you need to know, how you need to do it, when you need to do it, when you stop. But the fact of it is, knowledge is power.
Yep.
And we pass the knowledge on, and this is where the rest is up to you. You've got to go out now and exercise your right to vote. Then give him something to count. That was good.
Yes, and that's the other thing is that we have all those early votes will be released right after 7 o'clock. The majority of the vote by mail, we'll have everything except whatever we get Tuesday afternoon.
Right.
Will already be counted. We'll count Monday's mail on Tuesday morning.
That's right.
And those will be part of our results. But as I said, as you know, because we'll make that last run about 5 o'clock, but we don't want to be in the middle of counting and then miss the deadline at 7 o'clock. So we sort of going to pause, and we'll count those later in the evening. We'll update those later in the evening. But even by 7:35, we've had 78 of the 80 precincts are reporting. So 35 minutes after the polls close, all but 2 precincts, which may be 500 votes or something like that.
Exactly.
The results are posted on our website, and those are some of those in the north end that we have a little bit of trouble getting the signal from.
Right.
So we have to wait till they bring the stick with
So
the
I have to
results.
literally bring it in?
They have to bring it in. But again, usually, again, those two, although they're important, maybe not
I got
won't
you.
sway the election any. So you're
Exactly.
going to know the result. But 35 minutes after the polls close, that you have 98, 99% of your
That's some counting.
votes publicized and
all ready for us.
Available for the public. So.
Absolutely. Well, Robert, I'll tell you, can you believe we've talked an hour already?
I can't believe it.
It's already gone. He said, come on, you got 2 minutes. But listen, everybody, now, if you have not taken care of all of yours, or you've got questions, what do you need to do, Robert, real quick?
Give us a call, 850-595-3900 or scambiavotes.gov. Just real quick, early voting, 22nd to the 29th of March, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. 10 locations. You can go to any one of the 10. Election day, April 1st, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You have to go to your precinct on Election day.
Exactly.
And those are those 10 sites.
There are those 10 sites right there. That's on the screen.
I want to say, UWF, we're going back to the Fine and Performing Arts Center, so that's what people have come to know. And so we're working with the university, so that'll be our location going forward, and appreciate Dr. Saunders' commitment to the community and providing that opportunity for their students and for the public to go vote at UWF.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Robert, for doing what you do.
Yes.
Thank you for coming in as we celebrate today. But listen, everybody, listen, please, if you've got questions, 850-595-3900, that's the easiest way. And I mean, it is done quickly. You heard the caller say earlier just how quick it was taken care of. Now, what I want you to do is go out and exercise your right to vote. You can go out. Early voting begins on the 20th.
22nd.
22nd. That's going to be this weekend. But then if you don't make it to early voting, go out and vote on the 1st. But I just love the fact you can get out early. I'll leave you today, my dear friends, as I do every single day. Never, ever, ever lose your focus. Always remember, if you keep God first in everything that you do, I believe that you're going to be a total success. So until tomorrow for another show that's going to be filled with nothing but information and knowledge, put this on your mind. Know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone. Have a great day. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.